Okay, Wendy, the recording is in process. How
We're
are you
here.
doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Great weekend of football. Some things that we needed to happen, but not enough, obviously. But man, what a great, we beat Auburn. We beat Auburn. So I'm a winner for 365 days.
Alabama does beat Auburn, Wendy. Let's go back a week. We did this on Thanksgiving last week. And I'll tell you what, I got sick last Tuesday. Really didn't feel good Tuesday, really didn't feel good Wednesday. Thursday, when we did this little conference thing that we do, I felt fine. I felt good.
Right.
I was like, okay, cool. Thursday night, hit a wall again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This sickness, I don't know if I had the flu, corona. People are calling it the corona flu or the flu-rona.
Flu-rona.
Literally today is Wednesday, so we're recording this on Wednesday, 11/30 of 2022, and I'm just now getting to where I feel a little bit better. Wendy, being sick is for the birds, and
Especially for you.
Yeah, it is, and I mean I don't understand why it is, but it's like I'm ill, like I'm ill, like I really want to just like punch somebody in the face.
Yep.
But they don't deserve it.
No, they don't.
They don't deserve it, so that's not fair to them. So I've been kind of steering clear of some people, just trying to get back 100%. And Wendy, tell me this inside of our family: why does it feel like me saying I want to go to the doctor feels like I'm turning into going to the communist country? Why?
Well, because your mom and your sister don't do the doctor. So we do onions, we do herbs, we do garlic, we do all the stuff that's natural. So, but I will say, if you're sick after 14 days, it's turned bacterial and you've got to go get an antibiotic. But here's the thing. If I'm doctoring you, I'm putting onions on your feet, potatoes on your feet, garlic on your chest. I've got onions hanging from your ceiling fan.
Right.
Like, I'm going pure natural. I'm going to try to heal everybody naturally.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody out there is going through what I'm going through, but it seems like the doctor is like completely off limits in my family now. And I'm not sure where this started. I always kind of thought when you got sick, you went to the doctor, they gave you something, you got better and everybody's happy. But now it's like you're going to the doctor and it's like everybody's waving off. See you later. We'll never see you again.
Well, I just don't want to talk to you about it. I don't care. Like, if you've gone to the doctor and they're going to put something in your system and I don't know what it is, then you've got a deal. Don't be calling me if it goes sideways. I'll tell you that.
I hear you. So anyway, feeling better. Glad we're getting to do this. Wendy, last week's games, it was rivalry week. Alabama plays the Auburn football Tigers. Wendy, tell me about the football game. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on 1 second. Because I like to do the scores.
Yes.
Alabama beats Auburn 49-27.
And here's the greatest thing about that game. We won. Bryce Young had a phenomenal game. I just thought he played really well. Finally started seeing some of these receivers catching some really good balls, in my opinion, like finally starting to see a little bit of work out of those guys.
Yeah.
But let's give it to Auburn, man. I mean, they played to the last minute. They never stopped playing. That team never stopped playing us. Even when we got up, I think at one point we were 3 scores ahead. Man, they kept coming back. So I give it to Cadillac and what he was able to do these last few games. I'm just glad we didn't get so far up and then Auburn just stopped playing. Like, that's really what I was happy about. So just a great last game of the year. Obviously was hoping that some other things could go down to kind of maybe get us back in it, but just didn't happen. But Trey, I'm going to tell you something. That Auburn team, I don't know if I've ever seen some kids trying to win a game like they were trying to win a game. You know,
yeah, they came out on fire. I mean, to me, they came out, they were well prepared, they were ready to play a football game. And Wendy, Alabama's offense finally looked like our offense. I mean, it was like, okay, every time we got the ball, I thought we were going to score. We looked like we knew what we were doing.
Yep.
I mean, it just looked like it really doesn't matter how many points Auburn scores. Alabama, they cannot stop Alabama. Right. And the score ended up being 49-27. Alabama gets the win in the Iron Bowl. We know Aunt Julie's happy. We know Joey's happy.
Yeah.
Brunson, who was really down on the tide. I don't know if he's down on the tide or up on Auburn, but His little inclination did not come to fruition.
Thank goodness, because
and
he had me worried.
Yeah, Alabama ends up blowing out the Auburn football Tigers. Wendy, I'm going to bounce through some of these other ones. Go ahead. What you got?
You better bounce to that South Carolina Clemson game, because I'm going to tell y'all something. South Carolina is ruining the dreams of everybody out here. If you have a dream, call Shane Beamer at South Carolina and he will squash it for you within 2.2 seconds. All we got to do is send every team in the world to play South Carolina. And if they can get past Spencer Rattler and Shane Beamer, then they can make it to the top 4. But I'm going to tell you something. South Carolina is playing ball. I mean, I hate that they waited till the end of the year to do it, but they're playing ball and they have crushed so many people's hearts. I love it.
South Carolina beats Clemson at Clemson 31-30.
Great game.
Broke a 40-game home winning streak with Clemson. And, Clemson was kind of in control of the game. South Carolina sticks in it. And I'll have to give it to Spencer Rattler. I kind of give him some grief on our podcast. Just, he's had a hard time handling the bigger moments. I think this is something that is very, very good for him and very good for South Carolina. Yeah. And, hey, they hung in there and they end up beating Clemson. So just like you said, they're knocking people out of the playoff left and right.
And listen, let me tell you on Spencer Rattler, he has another year of eligibility. And I know that nobody important, famous people listen to our podcast. But if you are listening, Spencer Rattler, my butt would be back at South Carolina next year, because I think you could ruin a lot of people's dreams over there. I think Spencer Rattler's finally clicking. I think he's a great quarterback, and I think he's shown it the last 2 games. Trey, the fact that South Carolina had multiple times in the fourth quarter to come back and win that game and the defense stopped them, I mean, it was a crazy game.
Well, and really I think, talking about Spencer Rattler coming back, I mean, I think the other point is, you can make some money. It's not like you're coming back and you're not going to be able to make some money. So that could be interesting to see. Wendy, Ole Miss beats Mississippi State.
Oh,
No, I messed up. Hold on. And I'm about to cough. I can't figure this out. I got a mute problem.
Ole Miss did not win.
They did not win. Mississippi State beats Ole Miss 24-20. What happened, Wendy?
I don't know what's going on with the Lane Train, but here's the thing. He's staying. So they apparently he came out before this game and said, I'm not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And then they still come out and can't figure out how to beat Mississippi State. But listen, Mike Leach, I don't know what this guy does down there. One week he looks like a dang professional football team, and the next week he looks terrible. They're the most inconsistent team, in my opinion, in the SEC, them in Arkansas. So I just don't ever know what to think with those 2 teams. But gosh,
yeah, but I mean, Kevin just kept this thing with Auburn going way too long.
I think so too.
And, it just kind of gets on my nerves. Sometimes Kevin's going to have to shut up and just play some football. And instead of trying to be cute, go out there and play some football and win some football. I mean, at some point, shut up and play.
Well, I think what he pulled was what Oklahoma State, the Oklahoma State guy pulls. I can't remember his name. Gundy, where he's like, sure, I'll come to your school, right? And then he just ends up getting a raise through OSU. So I'm wondering if that's what Kiffin was doing, was playing those 2 contracts against each other. Because what's coming out now is that they've been talking to Freeze for a hot minute.
Yeah, so it might not have been true. Wendy, is that your dog in the background?
Yeah, that's all Major. Look at
the dog.
Sweet, baby.
Look. Oh. I tell you what, you ended up getting a good dog.
He is the best dog.
If I could get a dog like that, I would get another dog.
So listen, next game, Trey, you got the Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Vanderbilt did not score 1 point. Not 1 point.
Tennessee beats Vanderbilt 56-0.
Listen, way to go, Tennessee. And honest to goodness, for Tennessee to have another 10-win season. This is amazing. I know you guys are all worked up about y'all being 8 and us being 7 and all this stuff. Just enjoy your season, man. You beat Bama. You got your emotional win. You beat Florida. You had such a good season. Enjoy it. Be happy. You had such a great year. Top it off with a great bowl game. You know what I'd be excited about, Tennessee, is you've got a backup quarterback. You've got a quarterback for next year. Milton's throwing bombs every second, third play on Saturday.
Baghdad.
Just be happy. I'm just tired of hearing it. you lost late, Tennessee. That's it. You lost late to an unranked team that ran out of fireworks. They scored so much on you. Like, get over it. You had a great season. Let's enjoy it and get ready for next year. Yeah. So that's the only thing driving me crazy about Tennessee right now. I'm so excited for the season they had, and it's like it's not good enough for a lot of them, not all of them.
Well, listen, when you're as close as Tennessee was this year to making it to the playoffs, obviously I think coming up in the years, in years coming up, it's going to be a little bit easier to make the playoffs with 12 teams.
Sure.
Probably Tennessee would be in it this year.
Yeah.
So, all that's really going to change. But with Tennessee that close to making the playoffs, it's got to hurt a little bit. Wendy, not our favorite, but literally a team I cannot watch on. I cannot watch Texas A&M.
I know.
And Texas A&M beats LSU 38-23, and now everybody's pumped up about A&M again.
And again.
Yeah,
and then Jimbo goes and and Jimbo goes and fires his offensive coordinator, which I didn't even know they had an offensive coordinator because I thought Jimbo Fisher did all of it.
I agree.
So now Jimbo's fired one guy. This is exactly what Fulmer did for years. This is it verbatim what these guys do. They just start firing coaches, right? It's not me. It can't be me.
Well, they have to. I mean, they can't pay him $85 million. He needs to make some changes. And I would make some changes too. It's the most god-awful. I'm not sure I'll ever watch him again.
But here's the problem, Trey, that I have with it is it's, LSU also is this wonky team, right? So now we've got LSU going to play Georgia this coming up weekend, which is awful.
Let's get into it. SEC championship game this week. LSU plays Georgia in the Mercedes Dome. Wendy, what's going to happen over there?
Hey, Barry. I'm going to make sure Barry is listening. Hey, Barry, you're going to beat the crap out of LSU this week. You're going to kill them. I would be surprised if LSU scores a touchdown. That's how bad you're going to kill them this week. I'm not even going to watch it. If I'm not home to watch it, I'm not even worried about it this year. That's how bad that game's going to be. It's going to be awful. Barry should just have fun from the morning to all the way to the night. He doesn't even have to watch it if he doesn't want to. He's going to win that game.
That is what is shaking and baking. Wendy, Ohio State, I know we're supposed to bring up other stuff. Ohio State goes down in a big-time blowout. Michigan blows out Ohio State.
At Ohio State. At their house, and I don't care what anybody says, Ohio State stays overrated every single year. They get to this last game. They can't handle the heat. They lose a wonky game every year, except for this year, and then they lost it to Michigan. But here's where they screwed us up, right? So because they lost, they fall out of it. Now Michigan's a one loss, Ohio State's a one loss, and Ohio State doesn't play another game. So, okay, let's just say that the Big Ten game, what is it, Kansas State against Michigan?
Yeah.
So
I don't even know.
So Kansas State wins. Now you've got a one-loss Michigan, one-loss Ohio State. It's just
here's the thing: Georgia and Michigan and TCU are going to be in. So now we're getting into the playoff deal. So now we're talking about the playoff deal. Wendy, Georgia's in, Michigan's in, TCU is probably in. Southern Cal. TCU would have to get killed to not get in. Southern Cal, and then you have Southern Cal is at 4, Ohio State is at 5, Alabama is at 6, and Tennessee is at 7.
So my only question I disagree wholeheartedly, if TCU loses this Saturday to whoever they play, I don't think TCU gets in with one loss.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't.
People are saying that they will, and I'm sitting here going, they've had close losses to crappy teams. If you just go and look at their
close wins,
we're not talking about where they've blown all these teams out of the water by 100 points. I would find it mind-blowing if TCU drops their game and they still get in over a one-loss Ohio State team. That would blow my mind.
Okay, so, maybe they won't because, listen, if TCU loses and Southern Cal loses, you could feasibly have Ohio State and Alabama back up in there. And Wendy, let's just talk about it just for the heck of it. What if Alabama gets in this thing?
Oh, we'll lose. Okay. We'll lose. I mean, I don't think we can beat Georgia. I can absolutely probably beat Michigan or TCU, but I don't think I can beat Georgia. I'm with you. I don't know if I want anything to do with it, but I love to figure out a way to get in it. You know what I mean? Like love to figure out how to get in it. But hey, have you had any critiques yet on our YouTube?
No, not yet. I mean, I put up some shorts that you sent me during those games, and then not really though. But there's been a couple of views. I mean, people are watching it, and I've got to figure out how to do the podcast because I don't know if there's people that are like that don't know that this is here. So I'm gonna try to put this on the podcast, but they're set in two different files, and I'm trying to sell insurance all day, so. I don't know if
you're
I can
busy.
figure that out. Yeah.
Well, Mommy B says I play with my hair too much. So
okay.
So I just don't know what to do with my hands. Like I don't know. Like,
come on, Ricky Bobby.
What do you do with your hair? I mean, that's been tough. So Mom told me I was playing with my hair too much. So I've been trying not to touch my hair. But I'm still struggling with because I talk with my hands. And when we were doing the podcast, nobody saw me. So I could just be me. Now I'm trying to like not come across crazy, and now I'm playing with my hair too much. So I've got to figure out that. That's the only critique I've gotten so far is I'm playing with my hair too much.
Yeah, I think Aunt Julie said Aunt Julie was glad we were doing it. I talked to Joey, talked to Barry.
Good.
Who else I talked to about? I talked to Bronson about this stuff. Let's see.
And I'm going to shout out my friend Val. Big shout out to Val. My friend Val, Trey, she sends this stuff to everybody.
Let's go, Val.
Let's go, Val. That's what I said. She probably is our number one forwarder of the link. I think she forwards to people more than anybody else does. So
Bear and
thank
Will.
you, Val. You're so sweet to us. Very loyal.
Thank you, Val.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bear and Will.
Yes.
You've obviously got Mom and Bob. Let's see. Aunt Julie goes, "Hey Trey, great shows. For the record, I'm still holding out for Chaos."
Okay.
That's what she's still holding out for Chaos. And Aunt Julie and this whole crew, they're gonna wait until the last absolute seconds off the clock.
Yep.
Uncle Mike, Mom, anybody else on here, Justin Yelverton, but what else you got, Wendy? We're gonna jump off here. We've had a good Thanksgiving. We got to get back to work.
That's about it. I mean, it stinks not having to have that 30-minute talk about who we're going to play or what the SEC championship game's going to look like, but it just wasn't our year. It wasn't our year to get in it. And honestly, I don't think anybody can beat Georgia. I think they'll repeat. I think they deserve to repeat. And listen, go SEC. I'm an SEC fan. I don't care who wins it. It's got to be an SEC team that wins it.
Yeah, but I mean, let's understand this. I mean, it could be chaotic and Alabama could still get in it. So we need to watch these football games this week. I mean, this is still not over yet. Last thing, and I'm trying to think of anything that, of course, we're going to forget that people are like, oh my God, why didn't you talk about this? This was so blatantly obvious. But I'll tell you something I got into is this USA Soccer.
Yes, you have, Craig.
Really big into the USA Soccer. They've made it out of the group stage, and they're going in to play the knockout round, which is Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. So it's kind of a world thing. Yeah.
Didn't they beat somebody yesterday?
Iran.
Okay, so they won 1-0.
Is it Iran or Iran? No, it's Iran.
It's Iran.
Well, they get really mad, these people. Of course, I don't live in Iran, so I don't really care what they think. But I think
but the USA won.
Yeah, the United States beat them 1-0. Yeah.
And then they have to play the Netherlands. Is that right?
That's right. They play the Netherlands at 8 o'clock on Saturday.
Are you proud of me for knowing that?
Yeah, I am.
I only kept up with it because of you. I can care less. Everybody watch. I only pay attention because of my brother. So, but I do know those two fun facts. Also, though, last thing I'll say, did you see where Auburn made Cadillac the assistant head coach?
Yeah. So Hugh Freeze is now the head coach, and Cadillac is going to be the assistant.
Yeah.
And everybody is happy. Wendy, I think I already don't like Hugh Freeze. He's too slick. He's too slick. He's too slick. He's like, oh, it was the most brilliant thing, and it was the way he handled this and this, and he's got all these mannerisms, like he's got all the answers to everything. I don't know. I don't like the guy already.
But you probably don't like Hugh Freeze though, also because he has beat Saban. He has beat Saban.
Fine. He's beaten Saban. What? So what?
Well, here's what I think. Here's my conspiracy on Cadillac is that the Auburn Nation got so bent out of shape about Cadillac that they were afraid they weren't going to get on board with Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
And I believe that here's what I want people to know. I believe that Cadillac Williams will be a phenomenal head coach one day. I'm not sure he's quite ready to go be the head coach of Auburn University.
Right.
I think he's could learn a few more things. It's great to see the passion, but that's got to turn over to this stuff. So what I think they did is they play-sated the Auburn fan base by making him the assistant head coach. That's what I think they did. Because honestly, I've never heard of anything like this. This made no sense to me. I think he deserves it, wholeheartedly deserves it.
Well, you've got to keep some of this together. You got to keep some of your football team together. He knows the players, he knows the recruiting, he knows what's going on, and he's a positive influence on the team. So I think it's a great thing for Auburn. But listen, Wendy, we're going to jump off here. We'll talk to you next week. If there's anything else come up, let me know. I love you very much.
Love you. Roll Tide, everybody. Y'all have a great, and go SEC. Go Georgia. Love you.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.